The dumbest Ruby weapon, not what you expected by Skallagrim.
I'm kind of a dork when it comes to weapons.
Oh wow, me too. Which is how I know that some designs are ludicrous bollocks.
Accurate. For those of you that don't know, Kip is, yes, an incredible RWBY fan. I actually ended up watching it all the way through Volume 8, watched Volume 9 as well, and, see a lot of breakpoints for a lot of people. Very much a fan of the characters and weapons. If you're wanting my favorite Oshi, my favorite character, Cinderfall, that is a whole box of chocolates in its own right, though.
Over the years, people have often asked me to talk about weapon designs from RWBY. Presumably the same people who for some reason like to listen to me pretentiously rant about fantasy. I mean, no need to be anxious, by the way. I'm not gonna trash talk your favorite underage waifu.
Get him, Skallagrim, get him. Although, to be fair, I think Cinder is actually canonically over the age of 18, especially even at the time of Volume 1.
I have to wonder why, though. Why ask me about RWBY? You might as well ask me how realistic Looney Tunes are.
Okay, hold up. That sword do be proportioned pretty well, though. That sword do be looking kind of fire. I think it's mostly that, and this is kind of a thing with content creation as well, right? You go through a number of creators on TikTok, go through a number of creators on YouTube Shorts, go through a number of creators on Twitch, YouTube Live, etc., right? And a lot of the time, it's just people wanting your opinions on something or likening two things that are seemingly alike to them. So, for instance, right, I will have people that will... It hasn't happened recently. I think someone mentioned like modern economic policy in some capacity for me on stream. And I'm like, yes, I worked in finance. I can't give, a like PhD or even bachelor level assessment on it, but I can look, from somebody that worked in finance, from somebody that, I would say is fairly intelligent. I can give my take on this, or people, associate me with the rest of the VTuber community where, hey, Kip, this happened to the VTuber community. What's your thoughts and opinions on it? And generally, I'm just like, if people want a drama, people gonna drama. I mean, it's an entire format on YouTube. It really is. And, I'm really here to just kind of have conversations, to make what VTuber friends that I can, and to have conversations. So what this goes back to say, circling it back, right? This goes to say that people see Skallagrim, person we like, person whose opinion we value. Oh, RWBY, animation people like. Ooh, it has cool weapons. Hey, Skallagrim, you deal with weapons. These are cool weapons. What do you think of these cool weapons? So it's kind of not necessarily an apples to oranges kind of thing, likening unlike things, but it's association by the media that you're in or the style of media, if that makes sense. So somebody sending me, like a Resident Evil mod, for instance, or sending me a Pokemon randomizer seed or something like that, right? Very synonymous with what I do. Or drawing my Final Fantasy 14 character in a specific style, like anime style, right? Very on theme is how I kind of read into that.
I mean, this is a show that fully leans into the rule of cool and that prioritizes action animations over story writing.
A lot of people were not happy with Ironwood. I thought his fall was interesting, and from from a military perspective, like Ironwood's just like, man, he is not qualified for the job. To which I responded, that's the point. You're assuming that the correct people are installed in the correct positions. Oh man, and that's why I'm actually not a part of the fan base. As much as I can like RWBY at times, I have my reservations with Rooster Teeth. I do not touch the fan base with a 10-foot pole. It is not worth it. It is not worth my sanity or time to deal with that. I will talk about it amongst friends. I will talk about it amongst people that I find, I generally trust or can get along with. I don't want to engage with the greater community as a whole. It is a very strange place.
A show that's not even consistent with its own lore. H-Bomber Guy said it best.
Something the show is very careful to explain is that they're not magic, because people don't think magic is real in this setting.
We have dust semblances, but there's no such thing as magic.
Well, yeah, I think you can make a science I know exactly where this is specifically, and I understand the... Hi, Yang. Yes, that's some assets in the shot. I'm glad my horns are covering that. God, I love Yang. Yang is next level. I do like the spicy characters, if that makes sense. No, but like... So... It is... consistent and inconsistent. You can only cram so many fairy tales into a single setting before running into issues. And there's been some weird revelations. There have been some interesting plot points and plot twists, and it almost seems like there's plot points and plot twists that have just been dropped altogether. See the Jon and Tyrion interaction at the end of like volume 4, or see the Crow and Tyrion even as well. Tyrion's one of those characters I really want to see how he does it, how he just continues. But because of how Volume 8 ended, how Volume 9 went, and how Volume 9 ended, it's just one of those things that, like, I think a lot of people are kind of just done, or enough of it can be rationalized as X Group 1 because of how Volume 8 ended, and then Volume 9 because it's so completely different. You could even headcanon that out of the entirety of the story if you want. There are definitely some story beats that a lot of people will have with RWBY, and I agree with a lot of them. I can still enjoy it. I can turn my brain off and watch funny fight scenes, right? Absolutely.
3 of the things I just showed you were semblances, and 1 of them was magic. Good luck figuring out which is which.
He generally makes a lot of good points in hilarious ways, and unlike some people, he manages to stay engaging without empty rambling and repeating himself 100 times.
Come on, Scal. You didn't have to call me out like that. I'm sorry, Skallagrim. Come on, Skallagrim. You have to call me out like that. I deserve it, though. I do ramble a lot, to be fair.
Where was I? Ah, yes, the rule of cool. That's what this show does really well. There are some impressively choreographed? Do you
Yes.
call it choreographed in case of animations? Well-designed fight scenes that go all the way and are genuinely entertaining and cool to watch. Yeah, there's some pretty bizarre shenanigans.
Yeah, just suspend your disbelief and you can have a good time. Turn your brain off. Gonna be a great time.
I mean,
I did go a little overboard in designing it.
yeah, no shit.
I don't know. I take more of an issue with, I'd say Winter's saber, actually, because it has the little little pokey implement inside of it as well. Hers might be a little more interesting, I would say. But no, there's definitely some interesting ones in this series alone. I mean, you have like Roman Torchwick, who has just like, I have a cane, but it's also a gun, and the bottom of the cane pops out or pops over, and it's just, you know, like a World War II machine gun sight, right? It's kind of great. Blake has weird pistol, almost like Kama Itachi style things, right? You know, the sickle and chain, but not necessarily. I don't know. It's kind of adjacent in my brain. You have that. Jean just has a sword and a shield, and the sword, you know, can get bigger by using the shield as more of a sword upgrade. Nora's hammer, okay, I could kind of see that being potentially overtuned as well, but it's still pretty simple. Just whack things with bonk hammer, and then it's just a grenade launcher.
You think? A little bit, maybe?
A little bit.
Scythes that transform into guns, and gun chucks that combine into a bow staff, and,
Yep.
and yeah, there's a lot of bizarre stuff intended entirely for the fun of it, just for outrageous action and really cool stuff, which is of course totally up to personal opinion. Believe it or not, despite my obnoxious rants about more realism, I can totally appreciate stuff like this. I mean, there does come a point where it gets so silly that it detracts from the experience. Gun chucks are where I draw the line personally, but you might draw the line.
I could see that, though. I could see that being a very valid critique and very valid. Okay, like, where do the rounds even fit? How does this work? Are these like energy particles? These dust charged? Like, okay, where are we drawing this line? Yeah, I could see people even drawing a line at like Weiss's glyph semblance, right? And, you know, well, how is this not magic? You know, so you could argue maybe a semblance is kind of a like a focused aspect or fragment of magic that people intrinsically can have access to, but then that comes down to what is your world building definition of magic. RWBY generally kind of has more of a soft magic system than a hard magic system, right? When I say soft magic system versus hard magic system, think something like soft is like Tolkien, Lord of the Rings, right? Gandalf does, you know, like light, not lightning bolt, sun, whatever what's the D&D spell for sunray? Sunlight beam? I don't remember. Anyways, cast sunlight on the fell beast approaching, right? Cool. Okay, how does this happen? We don't know. Soft magic system versus something like, you know, like Naruto, where, oh, you have to have chakra and you have to have certain seals do it in a certain way if you are competent enough, you don't have to use the whole seal length, but you still have to input some sort of hand seal into that, and you have to use your spiritual and physical manifestation energies to mold your chakra. But then later on, we can add sage energy into that, which is natural energy, right? And how there's more hard defined limits onto that. RWBY is very soft in that capacity.
Line elsewhere, you might draw the line at skinny schoolgirls fighting with gigantic weapons that must weigh 50 kilograms.
Yeah.
Some of you might draw the line at skinny schoolgirls fighting. Either way, it's all fun and games until someone's transforming weapon pinches their fingers or has a mechanical malfunction in the middle of the process and stays stuck halfway along the transformation. The really funny thing is that all of this stuff is supposed to be just tech.
No such thing as magic.
Including a minigun somehow full.
Oh my god, Coco. Coco is fabulous. No, Coco's briefcase minigun, which we have proven, I think, can either jam or run out of bullets, right? That is a line that people can draw on, because at that point, that briefcase is just that heavy. Like, right, is it law of conservation of mass, right? I think it's law of conservation of mass. In any event, right, you can't just pull matter out of nowhere. So if you have this that condenses down to the size of a briefcase, if that weighs, say, 50 kilograms or something, right? I don't know weights. I'm trying my best. If say it weighs like 50 kilograms, and you condense it down to a briefcase, that briefcase still weighs 50 kilograms. You don't go down to like 5-10 kilograms just because it's in briefcase mode. That's not how matter works.
Holding and clipping out of a little box that there's no way its volume would fit into.
Exactly.
But it's not magic. No. This is all just mechanical. It's all just tech. Because magic doesn't even exist, apparently.
No.
No, it's fine. It's just the Garlean Empire. It's just Magitech. Someone down below in the comment section is going to put some Gaius Van Baelzar quotes in there. It's just like such a devastation. This was not my intention. It's going to happen. Gaius Baelzar. Gaius Baelzar would be a lot better of a mascot. Well, not that I can own as a mascot, right? Be a lot better of a meme to be plagued by than the stupid pufferfish. All I'm going to say.
Such thing as magic.
Nanomachine, son.
Yeah.
Ironically, of all these outrageous designs, the practically dumbest one by far that I randomly stumble upon could actually be made in real life. Remember how I said that I'm not going to trash talk your favorite underage waifu? I highly doubt many viewers beat their meat to Peter Port.
Skallagrim. It's 2024. First off, that man is a legend, okay? That man is absolutely next level. All I'm going to say. No, I'm not saying that I've done this. All I'm saying is 2024. Come on. Like, this some people, they like, it's the mustache. People dig it. Like, it's 2024.
I mean, I could be wrong. The internet is a strange and scary place.
Let's put it this way. Dead Space Remake came out, and we had Necromorph R34 that I was alluded to existed. No, I did not look this up because that's filthy and disgusting. No, do not. I start drawing the line here. Like, no. You might want to have a conversation with somebody about this because that's a little too far in my opinion. However, the internet is definitely full of a lot of strange stuff. Some of it is Kip strange stuff. Like I mean, I had a pizza and that thing had it was like a supreme, which is like 7 different cheeses. It was amazing. That's weird by a lot of people's standards. Pineapple pizza is weird as well. I love pineapple pizza. There are people that will crucify me just for saying that.
But his weapon takes the cake. The blowhard.
Oh my god.
Which has an axe blade attached to the stock. There are a bunch of things wrong with this.
Really? We're not going to talk about what's his face? The other professor? He has the thermos that turns into the flamethrower bat? I thought that one would potentially take the cake. Interesting.
As I'm pretty sure you can imagine. I mean, funnily enough, Rooster Teeth themselves poked fun at this through one of their characters, Chibi Weiss, saying,
And why does this weapon have 2 axe blades? You can't even aim.
yeah, there is absolutely no way to look down the sights with this axe blade.
My trigger discipline. It's acting up. I know it's unloaded. I know I know for a fact it's unloaded. I know for a fact that everything's legit. My trigger discipline is just going through the roof right now.
In the way. I mean, I don't know why this guy is even pretending to aim. He clearly can't see shit anyway. And some might.
I mean, it comes down to it is more like a blunderbuss. Sir, what direction do you want deleted? 11 o'clock, that entire direction just gone, reduced to atoms, that kind of thing, right? Is how I headcanon that. I understand the criticism, though, and I understand the critiques, as well as these bits down here. My model's not blocking it. These bits, the little sharp bits, will dig into your shoulder.
Say, well, it's a blunderbuss. You don't have to aim with it anywhere.
I mean, I feel like I should just let the actual people that I'm reacting to speak sometimes, and that just speaks volumes. Actually, I'm very curious now. Rednecks in chat, engineers and Marine Corps. How many cans in would I have to buy to make this happen? Right. I'm sure I have people already just typing right now. Well, give me a 30 rack, get some WD-40, some flex tape. Could make it work. Put 2,000 rounds down that bad boy easily. This is why they're my three favorite group of people to actually interact with.
Well, contrary to movie stereotypes, shotguns don't actually blow their load everywhere.
What?
Unlike some of you if touched by an attractive girl.
He is off the rails in this one. Oh my god. The irony, because of the reputation VTubers get, right? We all know the jar memes. Come on. We've all seen the Shy Lily and the Fillion and the Lucy Pyre streams. Come on. Oh, this is some next level, just meta reaction.
Just kidding. That doesn't happen.
Never.
Being touched by an attractive girl, I mean. Anyways.
Damn, he got... I need a drink after that one. That's depressing.
So this abomination is the definition of self-defeating. Even just trying to shoulder it,
Yeah, just jabbing yourself.
I'm likely to slice my own armpit or jam it in my face or whatever. But even if I'm really careful and awkwardly shoulder it, so I can push it into the upper arm, which is a common beginner's mistake, by the way, when shooting high recoil firearms.
Wait, oh yeah, they do that, don't they? No, I've said that I've owned a DP12, right? That thing is absolutely nutty. That thing is such a party trick. I love it. And then my dad gave me, I was unbeknownst to it, heavy duty 12 gauge shells. Those will rock your teeth a little bit, but oh my god, they were amazing. You went down to the range, had fun. But God, no, I would not. I understand where people are gonna put it into their like bicep, into their arm. Do not recommend. Do not recommend that.
It'll give you some pretty nasty bruises, and it's not a very stable shooting position. But this is the only way you could do it, and even then, have fun with the sharp edge while the gun is recoiling and, you know, slicing your cheek open. That sounds like a really good idea. It's even funnier when you look at how he's holding it. He's literally wrapping his fingers around the sharp edge of the axe.
I'm saying, man is just built different. You make fun of people wanting to beat their meat to Professor Port. All I'm saying, this man is just built different.
And how could he not? There's not enough space for his fingers elsewhere. And then when Mr. Port wants to use the axe end and, you know, keep swiping himself with the muzzle, thereby violating one of the basic rules of firearm safety, but whatever. Yeah. It's even more awkward with this kind of design because it's a blunderbuss. So the barrel flares a lot toward the end, which means you can't even...
Flared base. No, I'm not taking that joke back. I will actually go to baby jail timeout for making the joke. You're welcome, chat.
Grip it all the way at the end. Like, he can only grip it between the start of where it flares and the trigger guard. So
this definitely got taken out of context. Oh my god, the internet had a field day with this. I already know.
That's not great. You want to keep the hands further apart so you have more control over the weapon, especially when it's this clunky. By the way, there are some pretty fantasy-looking combination weapons in real-life history, which I've made a video about before. Link down below if you haven't.
What is it, the guillotine guns from Assassin's Creed Unity? They existed. Were they necessarily widespread? Not really. They existed. The lantern shield. If you have not seen a lantern shield, look up a lantern shield. These things existed. These things exist. If you buy one, it has probably KO'd somebody. We're gonna say KO'd. It has probably KO'd. It has game ended somebody because these things are just, they're disgusting, and I love them.
Seen it. And they're being a little bit more sensical about this by putting the blade in the front.
Right.
And this makes a lot more practical sense.
Yeah.
You can actually aim and operate the firearm normally without endangering yourself, while slicing your cheek off and whatnot.
Right.
And you can use it in melee without even changing your grip. So
Rats, you just have a bayonet, but instead of stabbing damage, it's just slashing damage. That's all it is.
So you can fire, and as soon as they come too close, you're immediately ready to use this sucker.
You give them the butt stock, followed by the slashing. Oh, this is next level.
As a melee weapon. Personally, I would prefer to have a bayonet rather than an axe blade, but things like this existed.
I think for integrity of the barrel, I think a bayonet would probably work better because if you're coming down, I think the force coming back, right? Every action has an equal and opposite reaction, right? So say you were chopping a tree with it, hypothetically, right? You chop a tree, the tree reverbs back, it could damage the barrel versus stabbing it into something where you concentrate everything going forward parallel to the barrel. If I had to really I had to really kind of guesswork that really quick.
In history, and yeah, it's workable. They weren't terribly common, not all that popular. It was seen as more of a novelty, whereas bayonets, of course, were staple, very common.
They just work.
But it's doable, it's practical, it looks pretty cool too. Not this, but the originals. So long story short, I actually prefer the gun size over the double axe blunderbuss. At least it's going all the way, and the transformation animation looks really cool. I can't argue with that. Anyway, I hope you found this entertaining and perhaps somewhat informative too. Thanks for watching, and have a good one, folks.
This was really cool. I liked it. I didn't know I needed this in my life, but that was actually kind of funny. That was actually really good. I'm gonna hop back over here. Like, it's cool. I didn't, and that's the thing I have to remember is, well, I watched RWBY. Not a lot of other people did watch RWBY, and that's not necessarily anything on them. And, it's just like, eh. It was a fun series. Rule of cool, absolutely. If you can turn your brain off for a little bit and watch some pretty fight scenes, I mean, yeah, it's right up your alley. But as I said, I don't touch the community with a 10-foot pole. I really don't touch that community. But alas, I guess, what are your thoughts on this? Did you know that Skallagrim made this video? Did you not know Skallagrim made this video? If this is your first time watching Skallagrim, what I can recommend is definitely go checking him out. He puts out a lot of cool content. Not usually content like this, but he does have discussions that I have found incredibly informative and commentated on and reacted to, and I want to send as many people over to him as I can. So if you have not seen Skallagrim before, definitely go check Skallagrim out. And I guess, what are your thoughts? What is your favorite RWBY weapon? What is your favorite absolute, I guess least favorite technically, least favorite the RWBY weapon that just doesn't logically make... It's the Cocoa Briefcase, isn't it? It's the Cocoa Briefcase. It's always the Cocoa Briefcase. But let me know in the comment section down below. Please, as always, be respectful, be civil, and I'll see you all in the next one.